Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفى سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Brothers and sisters and dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new live edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with area code are 002 0112500 8679, alternatively area code 002 0100246 4583. Email address is ask@huda.tv and my Facebook page is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official. Our first caller today, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Salma from USA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Salma.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Barakallahu feekum for the whole team of Ask Huda.
Wafiki barak.
Dr. Salah, I was just thinking that all the viewers should like your page on Facebook and Ask Huda and Huda TV, and they should also, I think we should do some kind of donation too. Inshallah.
Okay, I will share that with the viewers, inshallah. Thank you, Sister Salma, for sharing this with us. Do you have any questions today? Sister Salma, okay. Jazakillah khairan. Sister Salma is very passionate about Huda TV and supporting the channel. And as I said, we cannot actually accept donations. Rather, we can only accept sponsorship. If any viewer would like to share their word by sponsoring a whole program. Some people sponsor Ask Huda throughout the whole month of Ramadan, which costs about 45 grams. And that's every day, mashallah, with the exception of the weekend. And some people like to sponsor a single episode, that is possible, or a promo, or an idea that is not aired yet on Huda TV and they would like to sponsor it. We're open for any suggestions. I guess all the viewers are fully aware that since we started 10 years ago, by the grace of Allah, we don't have any advertisement, and when we have the advertisement which is Sharia compliant. We do not allow any advertisement which have anything that opposes the Sharia or in contradiction with the Quran or the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's why we're lacking fund and resources. So we depend mainly on the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your sponsorship and support to the channel and its programs. Thank you, Sister Salma, for sharing this with us. As far as my page, I believe the viewers are fully aware of it, and I will talk about something that I posted today, I believe, on it. The page is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official. After this call, inshallah, we'll talk about that post. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Aisha from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening, Sister Aisha. Please mute your TV, Sister Aisha.
I'm Aisha from Nigeria. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I have this question, Sheikh. Please, I don't know if it is haram or halal for a female to go to a cemetery to pray for her loved one.
Okay. Right. Any other questions?
No, Sheikh. Thank you very
You're
much.
most
Yeah,
welcome.
Allah bless you.
Thank you. Sister Aisha from Egypt is next on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Do me a favor and mute your TV, Sister Aisha. Go ahead.
Yeah. I have two questions. My first question is, I want to know if, like, I'm running a business with a partner. We are many in a business, and we want to give out zakat. So I want to know, are we going to give out zakat individually or as a group? And the second question is it bid'ah to recite Fatiha before azkar? Like, before every azkar, I recite Fatiha, and at the ending, I recite Fatiha. Is that bid'ah?
Okay.
Yes, those are my questions.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Sister Aisha. Sister Aisha from Nigeria asked about visiting the cemetery to pray for her loved one. In the hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ said, I had forbidden you from visiting the graveyard, and now I'm asking you to resume visiting the graveyard since it will remind you of death. It indicates that there are two eras. One which was before the permissibility, and that was in order to block the means of associating partners to Allah in worship. Since the Meccan pagans and those who are new to Islam and they did not know perfectly the sincere belief, used to go to the graveyard and talk to the dead and ask from them. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade this practice entirely. Do not even visit the graveyard to block the means which lead to shirk. This prohibition was for both men and women. Then when he said, أَلَا فَزُورُوهَا, now I'm asking you to resume visiting the graveyard. Why? What had happened? Firm belief was established already. People knew that if they should ask, they should only ask of Allah. If they should seek help, they should seek the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And they should not invoke the dead. And furthermore, there is another benefit in visiting the graveyard, which is فَإِنَّهَا تُذَكِّرُكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. It reminds you the reality which most of us are being negligent of, which is death. So when we go to the graveyard, mainly to remind ourselves that sooner or later we'll lie down in the same place and we'll be in need for help. So you better help yourself while being alive. Try to do as much good deeds as much as you can. And try not to have a long hope in living forever. Rather, prepare for that moment. And also, Aisha radiyallahu anha asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever I visit the graveyard, what should I say? Which indicates that was after the permissibility. And that's why a great number of respected scholars said it is permissible for a woman to visit the graveyard provided she follows the proper etiquette, which is that give the salam as the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith of Aisha, Assalamu alaikum ahla al-diyari min al-mu'minina wal-muslimin wa inna insha Allahu bikum lahiqun nas'alullah lana wa lakum al-afiyah. Simple dua, but great though. Peace be with you, O the believers and the Muslims, the dwellers of this graveyard. We ask Allah to pardon you and to pardon us. And soon, God willing, we will join you and we will die. This is for us to remind ourselves that, sooner or later, very soon actually, we will be with them. Okay. Then you can pray to Allah and ask Him to give a relief, to pardon the dead person, to pray for them, to have mercy on them. No problem. You can do that. This is the etiquette of visiting the graveyard. Complaining to the dead, asking from the dead is an act of disbelief, because they cannot hear us. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one who's worthy of our invocation and seeking help. So according to one respected view, it is permissible for women as well as men to visit the graveyard in order to get the same benefit, which is to be reminded of death. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hamid from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Dr. Salah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you and how is your family?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah, and thank you for asking. How about yourself, Brother Hamid?
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Great, mashallah.
I have a couple of questions and I just want a clarification on that. In our part of the world, which is subcontinent, inheritance is generally not disputed as per Sharia. In some cases, daughters are given very minimal or nothing at all, with the understanding that the father spends a lot on her marriage than on his son. In some cases, father gives more to a son who is dearer and close to him than the one who is less attached with him. Please shed some light on this very important issue.
طيب.
Another one is that I just want you to shed some light on Qadr also. Allah sent His books, revelations, through His messengers towards us to explain the difference between right and wrong. The deeds which will take a person to hell and which will take him to paradise. He then gave him a free choice to choose the right or the wrong way. Now, if Allah has already decided and written His Qadr, and if he chooses the wrong way, and Allah makes him to do that, then why should he be punished for that?
Sure.
Some people advise that we should avoid discussing this issue, and I just want your clarification. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Appreciated, Brother Hamid from the KSA. Jazakallah khairan. Very good questions and very eloquent way in presenting your questions. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Hamna from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
How are you, Sister Hamna?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Go ahead.
Sheikh, today my questions are regarding interest, the interest money. Is it permissible, like the interest money that is stored in the bank, with that money, can we give it to a poor person's wedding? And can we build a washroom for the masjid with it?
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Sister Hamna. Okay. Next question is from Sister Aisha, who asked about that she started the business, and she's asking about whether the zakah should be paid on the joint account or each partner should pay their individual zakah. It is your call. If the money, which is zakatable, because there are some assets which are not zakatable, like the building, the buses, the equipments, the factory, the machines, these are not zakatable, the assets. But the cash flow, the goods, the merchandise, as well as the profit, once it is equivalent to the nisab or more, and it's sitting there for one complete lunar year, then it is zakatable. So if each person decided to pay their zakah on their individual position and ownership, that is perfectly fine. If from the beginning the partners decided that we would have a consultant and an accountant who shall withdraw the zakah from the joint account, then distribute it amongst those who are eligible, that too is perfectly fine. Either way, it is your call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Jannah from United Arab Emirates.
Hello, Sheikh. This is Jannah from UAE. I came from the Philippines.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you regarding a friend of mine. She's having a trouble. Actually, she had been converted to Islam like almost 4 years ago. And then before she converted, she got a loan from the bank. And then now she wanted to pay all the loans that she had been taken from the bank. And then the bank said she has to pay all the interest. But because she's a Muslim now, and she just wanted to pay the capital of that. But the bank doesn't want it. Only if she will pay the capital and the interest. So what she will do, Yan?
Okay.
Thank you very
Sister
much.
Jannah.
And glad to hear your voice.
Thank you, Sister Jannah. Barakallahu fiki. I would like quickly to answer your question. Okay. Allah the Almighty exempt those who repent after knowing what is haram and what is halal with regards to riba. فَمَنْ جَاءَهُ مَوْعِظَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ فَانْتَهَى فَلَهُ مَا سَلَفَ. So the past will be erased and they will not be blameworthy, whether they were reverts and they did not know before, or they were Muslims and they never heard, or they have been misinformed. So the past, you cannot do anything about it. What we deal with is the current and the future. So now settle your debt, pay off what you owe. If you are in a place where you're afraid to be in trouble with the law. If you don't pay the interest, you'll be jailed or whatever, then avoid that by paying the full amount, and you're not blameworthy. The person will be blameworthy if they decide to violate the constitution of Allah, the laws of do's and do not do's, knowingly and without a valid reason. But now, since you are willing to repent and you're willing to get rid of the loan which is accompanied with interest, and you have to pay the interest on the past, there is no blame on you. May Allah make it easy for you to settle your debt. And it amazes me to see many reverts. Once I was flying, and again I saw the captain of the plane who accepted Islam, and he was telling me and sharing me the same story, that he wanted to quit, he wanted to get rid of the loan, but since he has taken the loan before Islam, so people who accepted Islam become more keen to comply with the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than many of those who were born in Islam, and they take it lightly. Riba is indeed one of the worst sins. Have you seen any sin in the book of Allah where its punishment is to be cursed? And that Allah wages war against the person who deals with riba. Allah and His Messenger, فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. There is no other sin for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wages war against that sinner but riba. May Allah the Almighty guide us to what is best, and may Allah make it easy for your friend to settle her debt, either by taking a goodly loan from a friend or an organization. If you speak to any of the organizations, perhaps somebody can help you, especially if the loan is something affordable. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question about Umrah. Now, if a female is traveling from a cold place, like the place is cold and she gets into ihram and everything, but she's wearing a bit of a heavy clothing because of the cold, so once she arrives in Makkah, because there it will be warmer, so is it okay for her to change into lighter clothing to perform the Umrah immediately? Like go to the hotel room and get changed into lighter clothing to perform Umrah. Is this all right? Permissible? And what would a male do in this cold condition? He just simply wears the normal ihram, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Fatima.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Next caller, Sister Maryam from the KSA.
Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Maryam.
Sheikh, I have one question. What is the difference between the jealous and envy? The jealous is healthy or envy is unhealthy? Because subhanallah, when I was young, I was so jealous to my father. If my father and my mother they sit together, I was so jealous. And 2 years ago, I was dreaming that my father is waiting to my mother, subhanallah, and I was so crying. I making sujood to in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I said, Ya Allah, I is still not ready yet to my mother, to lose my mother. And alhamdulillah, until now my mother, she is still alive. Now my mother is, she's 77 years old. So I need to prepare myself because, nobody is still longer in this world. All of us are going to die. So inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take to my mother, inshallah I can stay strong. Inshallah. Thank you very much.
I guess I got a question, Sister Maryam from the KSA. Thank you. Barakallah fiki. Sister Aisha's second question, before she recites the adhkar, she normally recites Surah Al-Fatiha in the beginning and the end. The recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha is recommended every time because it is the mother of the book, and it is one of the greatest means of praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you recite Surah Al-Fatiha as a mean of praising Allah, saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, glorifying Allah, exalting Allah by saying Maliki Yawmiddin, as a mean of praising Allah in the beginning of your dua, there is no problem with that, insha'Allah Azza Jal. But it is not a part of the adhkar of every adhkar in the morning and the evening. Take for instance the adhkar after the prayer. What you should recite is Ayat al-Kursi, al-Mu'awwidhat, قل هو الله أحد, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, and قل أعوذ برب الناس, after the Maghrib and the Isha prayer 3 times each, and after each prayer just once, other than the Maghrib and Fajr. Maghrib and Fajr prayer, you recite al-Mu'awwidhat 3 times each, then at-Tasbih and at-Tahmid and at-Takbir. But it is not prescribed to recite Surah Al-Fatiha during this set of adhkar. Okay? Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anh used to use Surah Al-Fatiha in its recitation as the only mean of ruqya whenever he would recite the ruqya for somebody who is sick or affected with evil eye. He would just recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and it was very effective. In the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anh, the man who recited the ruqya, and it was only Surah Al-Fatiha, and the ill person was instantly cured, and the Prophet ﷺ approved that. So Surah Al-Fatiha, the mother of the book, Kitab, Quran, the opening of the book, is indeed the greatest chapter of the Quran. So if you recite it as a mean of praising Allah in the beginning of your dua, no problem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Maryam from Qatar.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Inshallah, I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first question I want to ask, my family, they went to one lecture, and one of the sheikh was giving the lecture, make a tafsir of ayah number 27 in Surah Al-Baqarah, and a few other surah. They say that if we have the mother who is non-Muslim, like our parents, and we are Muslim, and we cannot say, I love you, mother, or I love you, father, because they are not Muslim. But we can show kindness, and we should not hate, but we cannot use that word, I love you. Is it true? And my second question is, what are they doing in the Kaaba area when they circumambulate, make tawaf, and they go and kiss the whole of the piece of cloth, all the around Kaaba, instead of the Hajarul Aswad? Or so is it okay to do that, because it's like everybody is doing it? Jazakallah khair.
Okay, wa jazakum. Sister Maryam from Qatar. Okay. Brother Hamid from the KSA is complaining about a cultural practice where females are being wronged, oppressed. In many cases, they are not being given their exact right in the inheritance, sometimes lesser than their due rights, claiming that the father supported them during the wedding and paid that much. Is this a valid excuse? Absolutely not. When the person dies, he or she are stripped of their possessions, and they have no access to it, no control. The access to distributing the inheritance is only up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that was clearly in the Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, for instance, ayat which describe the share of each one of the heirs. Okay? So in this case, if somebody, let's say the father himself before death wrote a bequest, and he required that the son to be given triple the share of the daughter, we would dismiss his request, would not even look into it, because he have no access to the inheritance anymore. This is, it contains 2 rights. Haqqullah, the right of Allah, because He mandated how the inheritance should be distributed, and who should be given, and who should be blocked, and who should be given more than others. And the right of the heirs themselves. So if any person decided on his own, whether the owner of the wealth before his death in a wasiyah, or the person who happens to be the guardian after the death of that person, like the eldest brother, like the uncle said, I know better. Girls are not given anything. Why? Because you guys are married now and your husband should support you. This person is blameworthy. Blameworthy in a sense, he is involved in a major sin, which is devouring the wealth of people without right. Allah said in Surah Al-Fajr, condemning such people, وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمًّا. You devour the wealth. It is not up to you. The shares have been already decided and decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one has any right in changing or giving extra or giving less to anyone. That is called suht, devouring the wealth of people without right. And it is indeed a major sin. كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Haja from Gambia. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. No problem. Try again, please. Brother Hamid, second question concerning the preordainment and Al-Qadr and how some people misunderstand it. And some people, according to their misunderstanding, they say that if Allah has already preordained our actions, then we're not blameworthy. And others said, you know what, it's better not to discuss it. You know what is very interesting is, this is something not to be shared with certain people and others should not discuss it. No, it is a part of our faith. It is the sixth article of faith, which if you are a Muslim, and if I'm a Muslim, if anyone accepted Islam, they should be fully aware of the articles of faith. That's why the Aqidah is the most important issue in our deen. Because if you don't have the proper Aqidah, you cannot pray, you cannot fast, or your acts of worship could be all in vain. Like when Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Khattab was told about some people who deny Al-Qadr, he said to them that it doesn't matter how many rak'ahs you pray, how long you fast, how many days, none of that will be accepted until and unless you believe in the Qadr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Insan, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. We break it down slowly and easily because we have explained all of that in the program of the Aqidah and Huda Academy and in many other programs like Islam Unveiled. Very simple understanding, and if we understand it properly, we will not be confused. Those who are confused concerning the matter of Aqidah deviated. So we have some deviant sects, two extremes. One sect that denied Al-Qadr entirely or denied that Allah have anything to do with our actions, okay? And another sect who denied that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they said that Allah have forced us to do whatever we do and then we will not blameworthy and we should not be held accountable for our actions. And both are deviant. The mainstream believe as follows. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. And in Surah Al-Insan, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا, which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us guidance, hidayatul irshad, showed us what is right and what is wrong and ordered us to stay on the safe path and explain what is halal and what is haram and sent to us messengers and reveal books to them to explain to us everything in details. Then whenever any of us chooses to do what is good, that is his choice, and accordingly he will be rewarded for it. And whenever any human being chooses to disbelieve, that's his choice. And whenever any believer who chose to believe but chose not to pray will be held accountable for his or her choice. That is called the free choice, which is given only to human beings and the jinn. For Al-Qadr, it contains the following facts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the pen and ordained our actions before the creation of the heavens and the earth and ordered the pen to record our actions and whatever we will do in the future because of His infinite knowledge. So it contains and it entails His infinite knowledge. Why whenever any of us can predict what his son or his daughter would do, we say you're right even though he doesn't know the future, because even though he's a human being. He's my son, I know better his choice. I know him very well. You know, with Google Earth, you're capable to know what happens on the other side of the world. You know, and this is an access that's given to a little tiny human being. Allah the Almighty is the Creator. Allah the Almighty is the Creator, which means that He has the infinite knowledge to know the past, the present, and the future. So He recorded our choices, but He gave us the free choice to choose what we will do. And that is stated in the Quran. When some of the companions said, Ya Rasulullah, فَفِيمَ الْعَمَلِ, if this is the case, why should we work? He said, اعملوا فكل ميسر لما خلق له. Everyone will find it easy to achieve what he was created for. If you choose, you see, I'm using the word choose. If you choose not to pray, you'll be blameworthy. If you choose to get up at night to pray, tahajjud, extra nawafil, extra voluntary prayers, that is your choice. Allah granted you success to get up and pray, but it is your choice in the first place. And accordingly, you will be rewarded for it. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Accordingly, whosoever does an atom weight of good shall see it, and whosoever does an atom weight of evil shall see it, based on his choice. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a few minutes to answer the remaining questions and take some more calls. Please stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Welcome to another live edition of Huda Tonight. This program provides some of the latest news and information from around the Muslim world and also discussions about topics that are important for Muslim life.
Brothers and sisters, the Islamic perspective on divorce. It's an outlet which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for any relationship that has gone sour or an abusive relationship. But this principle of divorce has its rules and has its procedures.
For our first news item for the news segment tonight, we're going to go to the United States, the state of Kansas, the Muslim community there in the United States, the state of Kansas. The city is Kansas City.
Talk is communication. In order to communicate, you have to make sure that exactly you tell or you told the other or the partner the real thing about yourself.
Tonight we're going to talk about, inshallah, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And what I wanted to start off with, you know, we all know that he was very young when the Prophet ﷺ passed away. So let's start from the beginning, from his youth.
Time is very important and precious. Many of us in our youth and the Muslim Ummah doesn't know the value of time. And even if we think we know, sometimes we face difficulty and challenges understanding and managing your schedule on a daily basis.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV. Acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Alright, we have Sister Hamna from the KSA who asked about the interest that is generated on money that is deposited in a conventional bank. What should we do with it? Should we give it to the poor? Is it permissible to build the bathroom facilities for the masjid? It is permissible to dispense such money, which is unlawfully earned, by giving it to the poor, to an orphanage, to a hospital, provided you should not spend it in the masjid, because the masjid is a place of worship and you should not spend anything that is earned unlawfully in it. But the bathroom facility is something that is separated from the masjid, where you can spend such money in buying the toilet paper, in the gardening in front or the backyard of the masjid, and so on. The following question was from Sister Fatima from the KSA. The ihram of a woman whenever she is coming from an extremely cold area and she's wearing like heavy coat and so on, then when she arrives to Mecca and the weather is still kind of mild and she changes the heavy coats into the light clothes, would that affect her ihram? Not at all, whether due to cold weather or not. I mean, a person in a state of ihram, it is the condition itself and the behavior, not the outfit. For a woman, if you're dressed up in your regular everyday clothes in the proper hijab, that is your ihram. The ihram of a woman is in the hands and the face, as long as you're uncovering both, and as long as you're avoiding the rest of the restrictions of ihram, such as approaching your husband, having an intimate relationship, of course, wearing any perfume or fragrance, or using them like scented substances, clipping any nail or removing any hair, all of that is restricted. So if you keep all of that in mind and you maintain it, then when you arrive to the hotel, you want to change your outfit, no problem. A man wants to change his ihram into a new set of ihram, no problem. If you think that your ihram is smelling, or you've been traveling 12 hours, whenever we come from the States, it's 16 and 18 hours flying. So I want to change into a new outfit, no problem. Yes, you can do that. Can I take a shower as well? Yes, but do not wear any perfume or fragrance or scented shampoo or body wash, because this is restricted during the ihram. So for the man, he would wear another set of ihram. For a woman, you wear your regular everyday hijab if you're going out or if you're offering the prayer. What if it is extremely cold for a man? What should he do? You know that the ihram is only the izar and the rida for a man. There is an outer garment which is called aba'a, or a blanket, which does not have sleeves. You can place it on or you wear a couple of ihram on top of each other. Or you wear the shawl, especially the Afghani shawl, which is made of pure wool, camel wool or sheep wool. It is like an oven. It's kind of thin, cashmere or wool, but it gives real warmth. So it will give you the real warmth if you like to wear this or that, as long as it is not stitched clothes or tailored to be worn as a shirt or a garment or undershirt or under a garment. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Maryam from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Maryam.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. I would like to ask a question. I want to ask, if zakah is you saving the money for a year, and out of the money that you're saving, and you're still taking out of the money, is it okay to still pay zakah with it, or not?
Yeah, Abu Maryam. Aba Maryam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't get the question.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you repeat your question?
Said if you're saving money for zakah for a year, and you want to pay zakah, but you're still taking part of the money to do some finance, is it still okay to pay zakah from it?
I'm sorry, I still didn't get the question. What about the morning? You said something in the morning and zakat.
I said, if you get in the money, you're saving the money, and you want to pay zakah, but out of the money, you're still using part of the money for some finance out of it. Is it still okay to pay zakah with the money or not?
Okay. I think I got your question. Yes, you still should pay the zakah, and if you fail to do it on time, then once you have a chance, and do not delay. Okay? Barakallah feek. Tawfiq from Uganda. Okay, so we have Gambia and Uganda. We lost their calls. Please try again. Tawfiq from Uganda. We spoke about the ihram and what should you do whenever it's kind of cold. Sister Maryam from the KSA asked about the difference between jealousy and envy. They are relating to each other. But jealousy sometimes could be utilized to be positive. Like when you feel jealous with your classmates or your classmates, and you compete with them, you do not hate them, you do not wish them to fail, but you're competing with them, that's okay. When you see somebody who's doing very well and you feel jealous that you want to compete with them, you want to be like them, somebody is going to the masjid on a regular basis, somebody is very generous, you want to do like them, no problem. But envy becomes an evil trait whenever the person does the literal definition of envy, which is tamanni zawal ni'mat al-mahsud, to wish that the person would lose what he has. When you have a classmate, for instance, who is very active, very smart, and they study hard, and they get full marks, so you wish that they get in an accident, they die, some bad will happen to them, so that you will be on the topmost part of the class, or the first in the class. This is evil. It happens that whenever women happen to be co-wives, jealousy is a human nature. Only when you utilize it in a negative way, it becomes evil. It becomes typical envy. So both are condemned if you utilize them in a negative way, or when you follow the definition which I mentioned earlier, which is tamanni zawal ni'mat al-mahsud. When you see somebody who has been blessed with a quality, or with wealth, or with whatever, and you say, oh Allah, make me as smart as her, make me as beautiful as her, make me as rich as him, no problem. This is not jealousy. You're wishing them good. Oh Allah, bless them in what they have. Enable them to thank you for what you gave them. Protect them and give me similar to that, no problem. This is neither jealousy nor envy. Or you can say in an English term that is used in a positive way. It becomes negative when you wish that they should lose it and you gain it instead. Or you assume that you should be more eligible to possess what they have and they should not be superior to you. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us to seek refuge with Him against the envier whenever he envies. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. Whenever he envies somebody, to wish that they should lose what they have. This is an evil trait. The following question is from Sister Maryam from Qatar. When she heard, or they heard somebody saying that if somebody has a non-Muslim parent, that they should not tell them that I love you, and rather they should say, or they should treat them good, and they should not say I love you, because they are non-believers. طيب. In fact, the Quran talks about al-mawaddah, and it talks about al-birr, and these are two different terms. Al-mawaddah, which literally means love and compassion, and al-birr means to deal justly, to be kind in your treatment to such person. So in general, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Allah does not forbid you to deal justly and to be kind and to be gentle to those who are non-Muslims, who are not following your religion, as long as they do not fight against you, they do not force you out of your homes, nor do they assist your enemies against you. Rather, He forbids you against those who fight against you and force you out of your homes, to be their allies, to love them. أن تولوهم ومن يتولهم فأولئك هم الظالمون. If you do, then you are the wrongdoers. One's parents may be non-believers, but they are not his enemies. They wish him well. And if this is the case, they are his loved parents whom he wishes for them guidance day and night. And he serves them to the best of his ability. Look what Allah the Almighty said. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا. And ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حسنا. We enjoin upon the man to be kind and gentle to his parents. إحسانا and حسنا from kindness and gentleness. Then also in Surah Al-Isra, Allah the Almighty said, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your Lord ordered that none should be worshipped but Him, and be good to your parents. Be good to your parents. Then He discussed the subject of our conversation, which is وَإِنْ جَاهَدَكَ. And that was discussed also in Surah Luqman. If they both struggle against you to convert you from your religion, to hinder you from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لا تطيعهما. Obey them not in that particular struggle of theirs. They are struggling with you. They are putting tremendous pressure on you to change your faith. No, do not listen to them. فلا تطيعهما. Yet وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. Give them a good company in this dunya. Be kind to them. Be gentle to them. Serve them to the best of your ability with regards to anything relating to the dunya. Comfort, buying them their needs, supporting them financially, housing, medications, allowance, because they are your parents. Your only problem with them is concerning if they struggle with you to convert you from your deen or hinder you from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhammad from Chad. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Brother Muhammad?
Yes, I have.
Okay, go ahead, present your questions, please.
Okay, sir. My first question is that if one of my brother was a smoker, then can we able to eat together in one place?
Okay.
Then my second question is, can I able to pray in both? Most of those people they are doing better. Can I able to pray in their mosque?
Yeah, Muhammad from Eritrea or Chad. Are you still there? Muhammad, you said with regards to your first question, you said that your brother is a smoker. Can you live with him in the same place? Brother Muhammad, can you mute your TV, please, and listen
I didn't say so. I said if my brother was a cigarette smoker, can I able to eat with him together?
If your brother is what? If he's what? Can you eat with him?
He's a smoking cigarette.
He's smoking cigarette. Can you eat with him?
Cigarette.
Okay. Can you eat with him?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That is.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Muhammad from Chad. I get your question. Last call from Sister Aisha from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aisha.
Walaikum assalam, Sheikh. I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we send our children to school for celebrating Republic Day and Independence Day of India?
Okay. I got your questions. Independent Day in India. Okay. I got many questions here, but I only have a couple minutes, and also I received the questions of Sister Salma from the USA about the steps after death. I doubt that I will be able to answer all these questions in this episode, but I promise, inshallah, to begin the episode on Tuesday by answering these questions, inshallah. Sister Mariam's last question was about kissing the cloth of the Kaaba. That she said she observed people kissing every corner of the Kaaba and the fabric, the cover of the Kaaba. All of that is not prescribed. The only prescribed part of the Kaaba to be kissed is the black stone. The cloth is fabricated and made, is a fabric that is tailored and it is made and prepared by us, by human beings like us. And it covers the Kaaba for a year, then afterward they remove it and they put a new one. The black stone is the only corner and the only stone that the Prophet ﷺ kissed and encouraged us to kiss if we have an access to, or even to touch with our hands or with the kin if you can. And that's why it is worth of mentioning to remind our viewers that Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, said while kissing the black stone, I know that you're just a stone. You neither benefit nor harm. Have I not seen the Prophet, peace be upon him, kissing you? I wouldn't have kissed you. So when people wipe their clothes against the showcase of the foot of Ibrahim, or the Maqam Ibrahim, or against every stone of the Kaaba, this practice, of course, is not approved. May Allah the Almighty guide us to what is best. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance and